A 13-year-old Pennsylvania boy has been charged with murder as an adult after allegedly shooting and killing his 12-year-old friend just before a planned sleepover. This happened early April the 1st. 2023. The 13-year-old boy, the shooter, his name Nolan Donald Grove. He stands accused of numerous crimes, including murder in the third degree, involuntary manslaughter, carrying a firearm without a license, possession of a firearm by a minor, and recklessly endangering another person. The maximum sentence for third-degree murder is 40 years in state prison. I'm just going to interject at this point and just discuss that topic. The family of the victim's name, Kain Heiland. Kain's family are very, very upset about what they feel are reduced charges. They feel that murder in the third degree is not severe enough for the murder of their child, their family member, Kain Heiland, 12 years of age. They are very upset. They are calling for an increase in the charge. If I'm understanding correctly, perhaps I'm not, but to change the key charge, murder in the third degree, to become murder in the second degree or murder in the first degree. I may be misunderstanding that to some extent, but certainly the family are not happy with what they view are overly lenient charges. I'm going to comment on that, and again, I'm just going to put up my hand. I'm pretty ignorant on these subjects, but we've just read here that the maximum sentence for third degree murder is 40 years in state prison, and we're aware that that is not the only charge. There is multiple charges against the alleged shooter, 13-year-old Nolan Donald Grove. Multiple charges. So to me, I don't see the leniency. I'm not seeing that myself. Perhaps it does become lenient. Perhaps the 13-year-old boy is found guilty, and we will read through the details in just a moment. Perhaps he is found guilty and sentenced to what we might consider to be a very short sentence. That's possible, but as far as we understand, he's been charged with murder as an adult. He's facing 40 years in state prison for the third degree murder charge alone, and then there are several other charges on top of that. So I would be thinking that the state is charging him adequately. It would be my take on it, but perhaps I'm wrong. So we're going to go back to the details. There are quite a bit of details in regards to the shooting and killing of the victim, Kain Heiland. So you may choose, you don't want to listen to this. It's going to get quite upsetting. So the 13-year-old boy, Nolan Grove, was charged in a grand jury based on the testimony of numerous witnesses and evidence that included video footage of surrounding events. I'm going to comment on that. So seemingly, because there were other people that were able to witness the events, I believe somebody witnessed the events via a FaceTime, so a video phone call. They saw the events. There was another boy in the vicinity, so there were witness testimonies, and thankfully these witnesses immediately went to police. And we will read that initially the boy denied any involvement. He denied that he was even there. He just heard the gunshots, but we'll go over that in a minute. But my point is, there's a lot of evidence against this 13-year-old boy, as far as I understand. The defendant, the 13-year-old boy Nolan Grove, surrendered to law enforcement and was arraigned Friday morning. The 13-year-old is alleged to have shot his 12-year-old friend in the back, which caused his death. He shot his friend in the back. The incident occurred near the 13-year-old's home on April the 1st. The victim, 12-year-old Kain Heiland, was pronounced dead at 9:48 p.m. that day, April the 1st. The Pennsylvania State Police received a call about a boy lying on a pathway between two homes on First Avenue in a town called Red Lion, Pennsylvania, and the body was that of 12-year-old Kain Heiland. Kain Heiland, Nolan Grove, and a third friend had spent the afternoon and evening at the 13-year-old's house. The three of them were planning on spending the night. So these are three friends, three close friends. They've spent all day, all night together. They were going to have a sleepover. These are boys, 12 years of age, 13 years of age, having fun together, friends. A witness told law enforcement that at some point early in the day, the 13-year-old, Nolan Grove, had retrieved the gun from his home. A witness stated that Nolan was playing with the gun several times during the day. He was loading it, unloading it. He was activating the laser sight. So, we're being told once more that this child, a 13-year-old boy, had access to presumably his parents' gun, somebody within his family's gun. He had access to it. He was able to get it out of whatever drawer it was kept in. Seemingly it was not locked up safely, not in a safe, not in a locked box or such. He had access to the gun. He was able to play around with it, unloading it, loading it, pretending like he knows what he's doing, playing with the laser sight, activating the laser sight, having fun with it. We all play Call of Duty. We all play video games. Not all of us, but a lot of us. And certainly I would imagine a lot of 13-year-old, 12-year-old boys will be playing with their Xbox, their PlayStation. I can see from my own point of view how fun it would be to play around with a gun. Oh, this is cool. Look at this. You know, with those that don't have familiarity with guns or training with guns, the first time you experience a gun, there's going to be an element of fun there for many. Perhaps not all. Perhaps many will be extremely fearful. But I would be having fun using guns for the first time. I've never used a gun, never handled a gun. But it would be an element of fun. But as an adult, I'm not going to do anything silly. In a surveillance video cited by police, Nolan Grove, the 13-year-old, can be seen pointing the gun at Kain Heiland with the laser dots visible on the victim's torso. So perhaps the 13-year-old had a loaded gun with the laser sight activated, and he's playing by pointing it at his buddy's torso. One trigger pull away from killing his friend. And that's what's fun in games for the 13-year-old boy, Nolan Groves. And I've got to say, I'm not trying to defend Nolan Grove, I'm not. But he would not be the only adolescent boy that would enjoy such type of play. I watch hip-hop videos, and you can see on many videos, you know, whole gangs of guys, you know, like 24 of them right in the camera, all pointing their guns at the cameraman. You couldn't pay me enough to be a hip-hop video cameraman. All of these guns, they're just playing around, you know, there's no real care or thought to the safety of others. Of course, I don't know whether or not those guns were loaded, but I would guess that they were. I would guess that those gangs are carrying the guns to use them, not just as props. So the 13-year-old boy is caught on video pointing the gun at the 12-year-old victim, Kain Heiland, with the laser's dot visible on Kain's torso. At around 7:15 p.m, the three boys allegedly talked to two girls because one of the boys believed that the girl had a scooter that belonged to the unnamed friend, the third friend. A witness told police that Nolan Grove told the girls that he wasn't afraid to shoot somebody and he would do so if he could. So I'm not sure if that was a threat towards the girls. Hey girls, give us back our friend's scooter or I'll shoot someone. I'm not scared to do it. You know, that could be what was meant there. Another witness allegedly provided a screenshot of an image from a FaceTime call, a Facebook video call, where Nolan Grove, the 13-year-old, can be seen again pointing the gun at Kain Heiland with the laser sight visible on Kain's body. So he was doing this multiple times during the afternoon and the evening. Not only playing with the gun, not only loading it, unloading it, not only activating the laser sights, but pointing it at his friend, seemingly at Kain Heiland in particular, multiple times. At around 8:22 p.m, the three boys were walking through a neighbor's yard where Nolan Grove allegedly said something about Kain Heiland's mother, essentially a yo mama joke. Oh, your mama's so fat, blah de blah, whatever it was. And apparently the 13-year-old had been doing this all day, all night, poking Kain, having fun at his expense, just playing, banter perhaps, but with a little bit of mean intent. And he made yet another yo mama joke. Oh, your mama's so fat, whatever. Kain Heiland, the 12-year-old, told Nolan Grove to be quiet. All right, mate, whatever, keep it to yourself, you know. Kain didn't act violently. Kain didn't instigate a fight. He just said, chill, buddy. Apparently Nolan Grove replied by saying something like, you know what happens. So seemingly Nolan Grove was telling Kain, you shouldn't have told me to be quiet, buddy. I'm now going to shoot you. You know what's going to happen. At which point Kain Heiland, 12 years of age, was shot in the back and he subsequently died. He was declared dead a mere 26 minutes later. The third friend ran home immediately after the shooting, and Nolan Grove, the 13-year-old suspected shooter, followed the third friend. The third friend asked Nolan, why did he do it? Why the heck did you shoot our buddy Kain Heiland? But Nolan Grove gave no response. As we're told, Kain Heiland was declared deceased 26 minutes later, 8:48 p.m. Of course, a police investigation was enacted immediately. Nolan Grove was questioned by police. We're not told if a lawyer was present or an adult was present. I presume that was the case. And we're told that in the first instance, Nolan Grove lied. He said that he'd been in his bedroom when he heard a gunshot. Well, there's video footage of you being on site. There's video footage of you, Nolan, pointing your gun, or pointing the gun that you had access to, pointing the gun that you were playing with all day, all night right at your friend, at the victim, Kain Heiland. There's video footage of it. There's also witness testimony. Your third friend was there. He saw it. Seemingly, there was a FaceTime, Facebook video call going on at the time of the shooting. They saw it. The people on the other end of the FaceTime call saw it. There's screenshots of the aftermath. Nolan not only lied, oh, I was just in my bedroom, just heard a gunshot, I wonder what that was, but he also changed his clothes. He had also washed his hands. So I'm not sure if he has since admitted his guilt. I hope he does. I watch interrogation videos on YouTube, and the detectives do say, and it may not necessarily be entirely true, but the detectives do stress to the suspects that, hey, look, if you tell the truth, it's going to be better for you in the court system. The judges will see some level of remorse and acknowledgement, and your sentence will be potentially lessened because of it. But in addition to that, it's going to be better for your psyche. It's going to be better for the suspect's psyche to come forward to release what they know, not to harbour on, that's probably the wrong term, but not to hold on to the knowledge that they've done some evil act. To share that act will be to release themselves of the full weight, the full burden of their wrongdoing. It will allow them to come to terms with what they've done. It will allow them to come to terms with the harm that they've caused their victim and their victim's family and friends. So, of course, full condolences to the family and friends of the victim, 12-year-old Kain Heiland, shot and killed by his own friend for no good reason at all. His friend should not have had access to a gun, should not have been playing with a gun, yet that was the case. Again, the family are upset about what they feel are the relatively light charge of third-degree murder, and I'm not a legal expert. I can't really make an informed comment on that, other than to say we are told within this article that the maximum sentence for third-degree murder is 40 years in state prison, so that doesn't seem like a light charge to me. Perhaps I'm not fully understanding, but in any case, of course, the family are free to respond and interpret the situation whichever way they feel is best, and of course I would presume that they're being led by emotion at this point in time. There is a GoFundMe for Kain Heiland's mother, her name Devon Rexroth, which is there presumably to aid with the financial aspects of handling the death of her son, Kain Heiland, for the funeral and whatever else. So I'm going to wrap things up at this point. If you appreciate the coverage, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. If you agree or disagree with anything that I've said, if I've been spewing a load of nonsense or if I've been going on too much of a ramble, just let me know in the comments. If you think I've done a half decent job, please consider joining my memberships. I would like to get a high number of members at some time. It's going to take me a very, very long time to get there. I don't have my first as yet. Perhaps you will be my first member, but please do consider that. But I'll wrap things up in any case, and take care.